An audit is a reasonable assurance engagement, whereas a review is a limited assurance engagement. Both types of assurance engagement provide an assurance to the users, but they differ in the degree of assurance offered. In the light of the difference, what is the difference between a reasonable assurance engagement and a limited assurance engagement? How do you differentiate the both? So when we talk about the difference between a reasonable assurance engagement and a limited assurance engagement, a reasonable assurance engagement provides a high level of assurance. It provides a high level of assurance, whereas limited assurance engagement provides a lower level of assurance than the reasonable assurance engagement. So that is a first difference. Second one, in reasonable assurance engagement, you perform elaborate, extensive procedure to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. You apply detailed procedures, risk assessment procedure, further audit procedures, test of detail, test of control, inquiry, inspection, observation, analytical procedures, external confirmation. You apply very, very extensive procedures. Whereas in limited assurance engagement, you perform fewer procedures as compared to the reasonable assurance engagement. Very few procedures you apply. In a reasonable assurance engagement, you draw a reasonable conclusion on the basis of sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. So you draw a reasonable conclusion. There is a reasonable conclusion, that's it. Whereas here in limited assurance engagement, it involves obtaining sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to draw a limited conclusion. So when we talk about the limited assurance engagement here, the purpose is that you require an evidence to draw a limited conclusion, but here in reasonable assurance engagement you are drawing a reasonable conclusion. That's the thing here. Further, the example of reasonable assurance engagement is audit engagement, audit of financial statement, whereas limited assurance engagement will be review of financial statement. Basically review you cover for the listed company and where you apply very limited or less procedures. Because quarterly review, you have quarterly review like 3 months. So you have very limited time. You can't apply detailed procedure like audit, like risk assessment procedure or further audit procedure. There you apply very limited procedures. And there review engagement will be applicable. Okay? Fine. I'll see you in the next video.